Let's talk about Jim Chalmers' well-being thing. This is imported from New Zealand. I mean, what a great idea when we start copying Jacinda Ardern. James, tell us what the well-being budget is. Obviously not the real budget, nothing to do with money, obviously.
Well, I mean, on the sort of the micro level, what it is this idea that, whenever the left is running the economy and they're going into a recession, they start talking about all this well-being stuff because it feels much better to talk about things like, social cohesion and fuzzy-wuzzy feelings and things like that. But of course, this is straight out of the performative Jacinda Ardern playbook, where you don't actually succeed in doing anything good for the country. You just, make a bunch of headlines. But the great thing here, Jim Chalmers comes out this week, and I couldn't believe this. I mean, you have to laugh. He comes out and he says, oh, well, the well-being of this country is great. People are having a great time. They're not spending too much money on stuff, and this country is feeling really together about everything. And they were using data since that goes back to before the pandemic. So it is ancient, dusty data. We've been through a pandemic, a near recession, a voice referendum, and and they're saying, "Oh, how wonderful are we doing, stewarding the country through the rocks?"
Well, yeah, I like this sort of data that homeowners are finding it easier to repay mortgages. Yeah, we kind of missed those 12 interest rate rises.
How is everybody going with their mortgage out there? Yeah,
you're so right. Yeah. This is performative caring. It's not really caring; it's performative.
Yep.
And when you actually look at the hard data, the stuff that can't be massaged, things aren't going well and people are hurting.
Well, and the other really interesting thing about this, too, is that all of this is also a smokescreen for one of the big issues that's a real sleeper, because this week we also had a poll in the Fairfax Press reveal that most Australians want a pause on immigration. They think the immigration rates are too high, and yet, if they talk about GDP instead of wellness, you reveal that the immigration numbers are just being used to pump up a sugar hit for the economy, and most people aren't doing any better because of it.
Well, this is a huge issue because we keep being told that, what we think matters. If you had a referendum, a plebiscite, any sort of vote on immigration numbers, the results would be resounding, and yet we've got Labor, we've got the coalition. They're pretty much on the same page. There's not that much difference in their policies because they are so hooked on that sugar hit, which is temporary, which pumps up the figures, but it doesn't reflect lifestyle.
Exactly, it's a scam.